Peace and love, everybody. I hope you're having an amazing day so far. My name is Nicola Massa. I'm the Plant Pusher, and this is the Plant Pusher Podcast. We're on a mission to promote the plant-based lifestyle worldwide so we can help our communities to heal, to protect animals, and restore our beautiful planet. Let's get into today's episode.
Welcome to the Plant Pusher Podcast with Nicola Massa. We're on a mission to bring people back to the garden. Let's go back to the garden.
Yes, I always love hearing that. I love hearing that. Today is Saturday, January 9th, 2021, and I'm doing that very intentionally. I'm dating this podcast very intentionally. I am in love with Clubhouse. This app just came out, and it's been booming the last couple days, and I've had conversations with some incredible people. I was just on a phone call on a Clubhouse with Grant Cardone, talking with Grant Cardone earlier today. I met the owner of Organifi, Drew Canoli, and there's just things popping from this app, and I feel like this is going to take me from where I'm at, which is literally bare bones, and it's going to help me build a very large, very successful business where we are able to help a lot of people around the world. So that is what I'm putting out there into the universe. Today's been a really cool day. Like I said, I started off the morning, I had a business meeting to get more customers for my advertising business, and the meeting went good. It got delayed. I wasn't able to close the deal on the spot. And I'm like, all right, man, don't get yourself down. Just bounce up off of that and let's keep this thing moving, right? So I'm like, I'm abundance, right? I attract abundance. I'll find it in another way. So I'm like, all right, let's put some ads out for Plant Pusher and let's get this brand out into the world, right? And so I launched my ads for Plant Pusher, and then I get on this call, right? I'm on Clubhouse all throughout the day, and I'm in this Clubhouse for Shopify users. And this is relevant for everybody out there, whether you're building a business or you want to build a business. This is very relevant. So I joined this Shopify for beginners, or Facebook ads for beginners, right? And it's funny because it said Facebook ads for beginners, but there was like some of the smartest people I've ever met around Facebook ads in this group. So it wasn't for beginners. Like, there was a lot of really smart people there on the panel, on the stage, and there was a lot of people who wanted to learn how to improve at Facebook ads like myself in the audience and in attendance. And what's wild is that I got promoted to the stage and I was able to talk openly with all the moderators of the group. And if you don't know what I'm talking about right now for Clubhouse, it's because it's a brand new social media app where you can actually join these large rooms. Like, this is the group that I just met I was just talking to Grant Cardone in. Hold on. This is not the right room. Hold on, stay with me. No way they shut that group down. Hold on. I guess they did. That was how millionaires can help others become millionaires, right? So, like, you have all these different people, and you talk to them through audio, and you can unmute yourself and ask questions, and it's wild, man. I've literally met so many amazing people in the vegan industry, like massive corporations, right? All right, so let me break this down for you. So there's a brand called Organifi. They make this green juice powder, a superfood green juice powder. I actually have some in here. Hold on one second. All right, so for those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, you can see this. If you're on a podcast, go check out the video version. This is Organifi. It's a superfood green juice powder, right? Amazing product, right? I'm gonna just have this right here. Let me see something. Yeah, look at that product placement. Look at that. All right. So for those of you who can see this Organifi right now, right? This brand, massive brand, vegan brand, super cool brand, man. Great culture. They won like best place to work like several years. The Inc. 5,000 fastest growing companies. Like, they got all these accolades. It's a vegan supplement company. And the owner, his name is Drew Canoli, and I've been applying to Organifi to get them to hire me to promote their brand, because I'm a promoter. My business, I'm a promoter, right? And so I'm sharing this out on my page right now. 1 second. Okay. So I've been trying to get a hold of Organifi to work for them, right? And to run their ads and to help them to grow their business and to promote their business, do events, right? And so I've been following up with Organifi. I put in my application about 2 weeks ago, and I've been following up with the COO for the past 2 weeks. Shout out to May. You know what I'm saying? Her name is May. Shout out. And so me and her are going back and forth and on text message, and I sent her my application via email, and I'm waiting to hear back, so I'm following up. And the one thing I wanted to do was to work with Organifi because of how amazing the company is and their product is and the company culture is, right? And so I'm in this call earlier today for Facebook ads for beginners, right? That was the name of the Clubhouse call. And I'm on stage, right? So I can openly speak with all of the moderators. And you have some heavy hitters that are moderators in some of these rooms, like Beyonce, not Beyonce, B. Simone. Beyonce's probably on Clubhouse, to be honest. If I were to search her right now, Beyonce's guaranteed on Clubhouse. Gary Vaynerchuk was on a call with him last night. Grant Cardone was on a call with him today. Professional athletes, rappers, like I'm in calls with all these people. When you're on stage, you're able to openly have dialogue with anyone that's on stage in the app, right? And so I'm on stage in this Facebook ads group, and Drew Canoli, the owner of Organifi, this company, multi-hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, selling superfoods and healing foods into our communities. This company, the CEO of this company, joins the Instagram, the Clubhouse conversation, and I'm able to tell him about Plant Pusher on my mission. He was like, "I love what you're doing." He started to give me a bunch of game and a bunch of advice on how to improve my business, and he's like, "You got to focus on your customer experience. So when somebody receives your package in the mail from Plant Pusher, you got to make the experience like Christmas. You got to make the experience so good that it's just like they're so excited to receive your product." And then he's like, "What can you include in the box that makes sense for your product?" And this girl said, "Think about partnerships." And as soon as she said that, I was like, "Hey, Drew." He's like, "Yeah, what's up?" I said, "What if we did a partnership together where you gave me some Organifi and I put it in all the Plant Pusher orders, so people, whether these are going to people in communities where they already know about juicing or whether they don't know about juicing. This is amazing for if you have access to fresh produce, or if you don't, you can just take a scoop of this and put it in some water and shake it up, and you have green juice right there on the spot." So I'm like, man, what if I was able to send some Organifi and some Plant Pusher together in a really cool box and have some cool handwritten cards in there and some cool elements, stickers and things like that, air fresheners, and like to level up the feel of the box when you get your Plant Pusher order. And so I asked him, I said, "Drew, you said you love what I'm doing. I really appreciate your support." I said, what would it look like? Like, would you be open to Plant Pusher and Organifi, this major company out in San Diego? Would you partner together and give me some green juice to include into the packages? Like they have this is a 30-day supply right here. This is for 30 days. So they have little packets, these little tearaway packets that you just rip open. It's kind of like, it's like this little pouch in this little packet. You rip off the top, you put it in a bottle of water, and you shake it up, and you get green juice, right? And I have water right here, and if you watch me, you know what? Let me do this for y'all, fam. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. You ready? All right. This is this is a little bit of, like, less than 1/8 of a gallon of water. All right. So this is the Organifi, the green juice powder. All I got to do, I drank a bottle of water, cut the top off. Boom. Put it in my gallon. And for those of you that are listening to the audio, I am adding Organifi green juice live. Get that logo in there. Into a gallon of water. And I'm showing you how easy and how accessible it is to get green juice and superfood, healing foods from all over the world that are blended up in this super green juice powder. And all I got to do, if you see that, make sure it's all in there. And then put this cap on, man, and shake it. Mix that up, man. Since it's a powder, you don't want it to get little clumps. You want to mix that up real good. And it's even better if you have this as cold water, right? So if the water that you're putting the green juice powder into is real cold, it's going to be a lot better as a green juice because the green juice is cold. You feel me? Okay. So back to the podcast. So today was really cool because I got to meet this Organifi, this guy. He agreed. He said, absolutely. He said, consider it done. Send me a DM on Instagram, and I will connect you with the person on my team that make it happen. I'll send you out as much as you need. So what's super exciting is that the future plant pusher orders to go out from this week on will have little sample packs of Organifi in there, and that's officially our first brand partnership, Plant Pusher and Organifi, and it's an honor because they are the best company in their space. They're one of the best companies in the world, and I've been wanting to work with them. I would love to work with them, and now that I get to keep my Plant Pusher business going and work with Organifi as a partner and be able to step up my customer service and offer more to my customers and give more value to my customers than they're already getting. Like, I'm already doing my best. We got great products. We got great colors. Like, these are 2 new unreleased products. Got a pink long sleeve hooded t-shirt. It's like Under Armour material. It's going to be great to work out in. It's the best workout shirt I've ever had. The most comfortable, most fly shirt I've ever had. I'm testing white hoodies. Like, I'm going to have y'all looking fly through the Plant Pusher store. And every shirt we sell, every item we sell, we feed a free vegan meal to somebody in need. We just fed 52 people today. And we're gonna break that out and give a shout out to my girl Blondie and my 2 sisters, Alex and Francesca, for being out there in the streets, and Miss Mabel, my mother's friend, and shout out to Brother Ray down at St. Vincent's Church in Baltimore, and all the people that we bumped into. So let me lead into this story now. So we got the green juice. You heard about Organifi. You heard that I'm talking to all these big players on this app called Clubhouse. So let's keep the day rolling as I drink my green juice Organifi. And I'm going to show you all a recipe. I was drinking some Organifi. I'm going to show you all a recipe in the upcoming days where you can juice green apples. So for those of my friends out there that do have Organifi, and I'll have an affiliate link for that soon. So when y'all buy the Organifi, you're able to support Plant Pusher. Let me see here. So when you get green, if you have a juicer, right? Get a juicer. Doesn't matter what kind of juicer. If you can juice fruits, then it's a perfect type of juicer, right? Go get a bunch of green apples. And if you go to your grocery store, like, try it once, and then I'll give you the strategy on how to scale it at a really good price. Go to your local grocery store. Think every time you want to drink Organifi, you get 6 apples. All right? So if you want to have a week worth of Organifi, this drink, get 7 times 6 and get that in apples. Now, organic green apples break out, and they weigh by the pound, but they break out to be about $1 per apple. So 7 times 6. So $42, right? And you might think to yourself, $42 worth of green apples? Are you insane? Listen, you're going on a mini juice cleanse. You're literally making the healthiest drink that you've ever had, and it's going to be so delicious. It's going to blow your mind for $6 a day, bro. Like, if any of you are working, even if you're on unemployment, you can afford $6 a day to get your body supercharged with energy and vitamins and nutrition. And man, it's just like, it's what your body needs. Give your body this green juice, bro. Give your body this green juice, sis. So I'm gonna take my own advice. So when you juice, it's got a really good flavor. It's not terrible. Like, you think that if you had spirulina and chlorella in something, I don't like the flavor or the smell of those. I mean, to be honest, if I smell raw spirulina or raw chlorella right out the bottle, I literally want to throw up. Like, it smells like dead fish, and I'm just like, it's an algae. Like, it's a sea plant or something from the ocean, like algae type deal, and so it smells terrible, but in Organifi, I can't even taste it because they have all of these different superfoods in it. And at the end, you can taste the mint. So what I like to do is when I get to 6 apples, I juice them. And then with the 6 apples juice, if you want to do 8, if you have a little bit of extra money and you want to get more juice for the day. And think about this, $42 for juice over the course of a week. That's not even a one-day juice cleanse. A one-day juice cleanse where you're drinking 8 or 9 juices, you are you're going to pay $60. Like, I run ads for a major juice bar chain here in Baltimore, here on the East Coast. And shout out to DMV, shout out Pure Raw Juice, right? And so I just realized that I should go live on Instagram while I'm doing this. Yep, let's do that right now. So Nicolo Massa, I'm going live on Instagram. Let me see details. Plant Pusher Podcast episode 8, I think. All right. All right, so the podcast is live. Peace and love to everybody on Instagram. This is the Plant Pusher Podcast episode, I believe, number 8, where I'm on here on Facebook Live over here and YouTube over here, and I'm just talking my shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just bringing y'all some value. So I'm talking about this green juice. I'm sipping on Organifi green juice. I'm talking about the superfoods that are in it. I'm giving y'all a recipe of how you can take this green juice powder and supercharge it. So I'm gonna put this right here for Instagram. Fix my camera a little bit. Boom. Okay. All right. So Instagram, just go over. You missed the first half of this conversation, Instagram. So go over to my Facebook or my YouTube. YouTube is Nicolo Massa Plant Pusher, and Facebook is / Nicolo Massa. Right. So let's get this thing going on. So what I do is I get 6 to 8 green apples. I juice them, and then I add and make sure they're cold apples. Wash them. Make sure the green apples are cold apples. Cut them down, juice them, and then go and get your Organifi. Go get your green juice powder. And what I do is I take a double serving, because the green juice, when you do the green apple tastes amazing, right? So you juice down to 6 to 8 green apples, and then you take a superfood green juice powder and you add 2 servings of this into it, and make sure the green apple juice is cold, and then you shake that juice up. I'm telling you, that thing is one of the most healthiest drinks on the planet, and it tastes amazing. If you ever remember as a kid drinking fresh apple juice, or drinking apple juice in general, like for me, apple juice when I was growing up was my favorite thing. I loved apple juice. I loved drinking fresh apple juice. I love drinking fresh grape juice. So when I make the fresh green apple juice and I put some of this green juice powder in it, it's like a superfood green juice, but it's really sweet too because of the apple. So not only are you getting all your greens, but it doesn't taste like you're going out eating the fresh lawn clippings. It doesn't taste like you're going out there and you're eating all these vegetables if you don't like vegetables. Like, it's a really smooth, it's a really delicious drink. And I'm pressing so hard on Organifi today because I met the freaking owner today, and he told me he's going to give me free Organifi to include it in all of my Plant Pusher orders so that we can get this green juice out to the people. I told him every shirt we sell, shout out to Plant Pusher, it's my t-shirt business. We sell tees and hoodies that have that Plant Pusher logo that's here on Instagram. Or on Facebook and YouTube, and on Instagram you can see it in my profile. The beautiful, bright, big Plant Pusher symbol, and I actually have it on right now. So give me a second. Check this out. This is the Plant Pusher logo. This is my pink unreleased long sleeve hoodie shirt. So. Yeah, so, okay, let's get back into it. Let's tap in. I met this brother today, and I said to him, I was in the clubhouse with him, and he said he was willing to send me some free Organifi to include it with all my Plant Pusher orders, right? And so, obviously, that's super dope, and it's a great partnership. I manifested that. That's a blessing from God for sure, because I've been looking to make this looking to get in contact with this brand for, like, at least a few months. Like, this is a brand that I wanted to work with since the beginning, and now I have an opportunity to work with them, which is a really great thing. It's really great. It's really dope. Like, just stay on your dreams. Like, don't let up with it. Just keep pressing. Just let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing, Plant Pusher style, and let's go out and get what we want. What's up, Kiata on Instagram? How's it going? Cosmo, I feel you, bro. I got you on Facebook Live right now. That's dope. All right, so let's do this. Let's tap in. Let me finish telling you this story. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to listen to the clubhouse, because those conversations are amazing. And I've met some of the most incredible people in my life. Like all the people that I've been watching on YouTube and following on Instagram for the past few years, I'm actually be able to join rooms with them and have conversations with them like I'm on the phone with them. It's just amazing, bro. Like this Clubhouse app is really dope. And again, to reset the room, this is a concept out of Clubhouse, is that because you have so many ongoing conversations that some of these groups go for days at a time because the conversation's so dope, people don't want to go to sleep. And it's crazy. Like, it really is. It's the coolest fucking thing in the world. It's the coolest app. It's the coolest community. It's actually social media. It's a really great time. So I'm meeting some of the people, all the people that I've been following on social media. I actually have a chance to have conversations with them. So by meeting Drew Canoli today and getting partnered up with Organifi, it just has me so excited to like level up my brand experience. So I'm going and I'm making these really cool thank you cards for Plant Pusher. So those of y'all that know that in the past, as like up until like a couple weeks ago, if you've ever ordered a Plant Pusher order, when you got your order, you got a little thank you card in there, which is cool, right? But it's not super dope. And for those of you on Instagram Live, I'm going to show you what the thank you card looks like. So the thank you card is like, it's this on the front, and it's really shiny, and then this is matte on the back, and it's this thank you card right here. And so it's super dope because I'm leveling up and changing the box that I'm using. Shout out Instagram. See my light right there kind of blinding you, but you can see me on the computer, right? Boom. Oh, where are we going? There we go. Check that out. My man right there. My man, 100 grand. All right. So this is the podcast, the Plant Pusher podcast. I'm kind of taking a more casual approach instead of being super hyped like I have been the past couple nights. Just taking a more casual approach. But at the end of the day, it's just this Clubhouse app has changed my life, and it's already introduced me to some of the biggest players that I've wanted to get in contact with for a long time. And I finally had the opportunity to have conversations with them. Shout out Drew Canoli. Shout out Grant Cardone. Shout out my man Fernando. All of these amazing entrepreneurs, these amazing minds that I'm meeting and having contact with. So that's Clubhouse, and I want to move on to what we did today as far as feeding people goes. So my mother, shout out to my girl Blondie, her and my sisters Alok and Blondie Jr. Right, I'm gonna keep my family that's their nicknames, Blondie, Alok, and Blondie Jr. Right. So they got together a bunch of, and I didn't have an active hand in gathering the food. But I did go out into the streets and help them to feed people today, which we have footage that I'll cut in onto. Actually, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a airdrop while I'm live, but if I can, let me see here. Let me see here. I'm doing an airdrop live while I'm on Ecamm Live, so I can play y'all these videos from today. So just bear with me. I'm pulling them up as we speak. Choose file. And let me go back to. All right, Instagram, I'm back. Instagram. I am going to be playing for you guys, and I'll flip the camera to Instagram so y'all can watch this as YouTube and Facebook watch this with me. I want to tell you the story about how we were feeding people today, but before I tell you the story, I want to go ahead and play you the video so you can get a full grasp of it. But I got to close down Instagram one more time so that I can fully transfer this. So those of y'all that are on Instagram, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, just stay with me. Stay with me.
Man, everybody's got something.
All right, yup, here we go.
Man, everybody's got something. Bring your people together and do something. Get off of your couch, stop watching Netflix, man. We got everybody's got either food or water or sleeping bags. A whole fleet of cars, man. We're leading by example, but we need y'all to step up so we can do this together. We got to take care of our communities, man.
Because I think this is super dope right now. Y'all got to see this. Watch this. Oh, y'all going to love this. Hold on. Yup, this is it right here. Watch. Here we go.
All right, so what has your experience been out here so far, feeding people?
It's a fantastic experience. I've done it for 10 years, and I feel that it's a...
To give y'all some context, we had 5 cars full of people. We had 5 cars full of people. One car was myself, which I had a homeless man that was in the back that had nothing, and I'll get to that. So Mr. George got in my car. Homeless man had absolutely nothing, sleeping on the street, didn't have a sleeping bag, didn't have a blanket, a pillow, nothing. He was literally laying on a cardboard slab in a big jacket that was all dirty, and he had a little fire going out. He had his hands over, but he was hovering over the little fire, man, with one log left. And he was just crying tears. He was just weeping, man. This grown man had a cane, just weeping. And I went over and talked to him. I said, man, why are you out here? Are you going to be sleeping out here tonight? He goes, I don't have anywhere else to go. And so we started talking. I could see in his eyes he was real genuine, that he was just really down and out. Like he just needed somebody to be there for him, because he just seemed like he hadn't had any family or friends for a while. And I started talking to him, getting to know him a little bit. And I'm like, man, why don't you get out of Baltimore? Why don't you go further south? Like, why don't you get out of Maryland? It's going to be 30 degrees tonight. Like, you can't be sleeping out here, man. I said, why don't you get on a bus and go somewhere warm? And so I was like, if I get you a bus ticket, are you open to doing that? And he said, yeah. So I went to all 4 cars with my family and these random people that we bumped into as we were feeding people. And they conveniently were about to give a bunch of sleeping bags to people, right? So we all bumped into each other. And then we started driving, all 5 of our cars. We start driving around the city, and we're finding people. And we are people that are on the streets. We're going out. We're going up to these tents. Anybody in here? We got some food. You want some bagels? You want some soup? We have water. We have all kinds of snacks and coats and things. Anything y'all need? We got sleeping bags, hand warmers. We got anything y'all need. Like anybody in these tents? And we're walking through all this tent area. And I'm about to show you in the video. Walking through the tents, and it's like 60 tents underneath this bridge, like 60 different people. It might be even 100, like 150, like so many tents. It's literally like a half a mile long underneath this 83 bridge down in Baltimore City. And we knew that there were tents, but we couldn't find them. There were only 3 or 4 tents that we could find underneath the bridges, and we were on the other side of the bridge. So the bridge is split down the middle, and they were on the same part of the bridge, but on the other side of the bridge. So when we looped the block and we came around and we saw all the tents, we pulled right in there, all 5 of our cars. We got out. We're handing them soup. We're feeding them. We're giving them water. We're giving them coats, and we're giving them all these bagels that were donated. And it's just, once we ran out of people to serve there, we doubled back around and went back to the church that we were originally feeding people at, and got rid of the rest of our stuff, and then gave the rest to the pastor. Shout out to Brother Ray down there at St. Vincent de Paul. Man, they're helping homeless people get on their feet every single day, and it's an amazing thing. So Mr. George is in the back of the car the whole time we're going around feeding people. He's witnessing us go around and taking care of all the other homeless people and all the other people that were down and out, and giving them blankets and giving them sleeping bags and giving them food. Like I said, we fed 50 people, and then I went and got a couple people meals after that at local vegan spots. Shout out to Land of Kush. We got some vegan soul food and fed it to the homeless. Crab cakes, mac and cheese, candied yams. That shit was amazing, man. And it was all from Land of Kush, and they didn't have to pay a thing. We just got the meals, and we went and we were able to feed people directly. So it was a beautiful thing. So that was that. If y'all are loving this so far, I want a call to action. If you're listening to the live version of this, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram Live, please go ahead and share this out with your people. Go ahead and show us some love and help us get this message out there, this Plant Pusher message, the mission of just taking care of people and doing God's work and making sure that we're, going back to the garden, eating delicious plants and helping people to find healing foods. Like, that's all part of the mission. And so go ahead and give this thing a share or give this thing a like. If you're on the Replay Squad, leave a 5-star review on iTunes, podcast, or Spotify. And if you loved it, leave us a 5-star review. If you didn't love it, send me a DM at Plant Pusher and let me know, how could the podcast improve so we can get the message across to more people. So go ahead and share this out. Leave a 5-star review, and we're just going to get this thing out to the world, man, and really help a lot of people. So we're back now. From that, let's wrap up this story, right? So I got Mr. George in the back. I'm like, I'm looking at all these bus fares to try to get him down to Atlanta, because I'm like, I'm not about to have my man sleeping out in the cold tonight. So I'm like, all right, let me see if I can get a bus ticket and get him from Baltimore down to like Atlanta, or get him down to somewhere in Florida. So I look up Megabus. First we were thinking about put him on a train, and we were like, man, the train will be like $200-$300. Like, I can't put you on a train, bro. Like, I really want to, but I don't have $300 to put you on a train down to Florida. And unfortunately, that's just where I'm at with my business. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm bootstrapping. I don't have any investors. I don't have any huge credit cards. I'm building Plant Pusher, and I'm building my marketing and advertising business with my own cash. And if you know anything about entrepreneurship, if you know anything about building a business and how difficult it is to build a business during the coronavirus pandemic, I started this business in June. So how to build a business in the coronavirus pandemic, the biggest economic crash in the history of the United States, and definitely in the last 100 years, and to start a business with your own cash, no credit cards, no investors, and build something from scratch. So I'm like, man, my business is so tight right now because I'm investing in advertising, and I'm ordering new shirts, and we're feeding people, and I'm like, I don't have a ton of money. I don't have $300 to put this man on a train. So I'm like, I got $150 I can give him $100. And so we looked at all the buses. The buses were like $150 to send him down to Georgia. And I'm like, man, it's going to really stretch me, and I'm uncomfortable with it, and I'm really trying to mentally work past it. Of like, man, just put him on a train, get him out of Baltimore. And now, mind you, this is some of my last dollars. Like, I need to put this into my business to keep growing my business. And I'm like, or help this guy get out of the cold. And I said, all right, Mr. George, I'm going to send you down either to Atlanta or Florida. I found Greyhound for like $150 bus, right? And I'm like, I'm going to put him on a Greyhound and send him down. To the bus leaves at 8 o'clock. And so we went and got some, like I said, Land of Kush food, and we're sitting there chilling. And I said to him, I'm going to send you down south. Are you still cool with that? He was like, no. He's like, keep me here in Baltimore. I said, okay, I'll keep you here in Baltimore. I'll get you in a shelter. And then he was like, a couple minutes later, he was like, but I thought you were taking me down south. I'm like, I don't know what you mean, man. I don't know if we miscommunication or what, but like, I'm not like, I am going to get you a place here in Baltimore. You just told me 5 minutes ago that you wanted me to get you a spot here in Baltimore instead of putting you on a bus somewhere warm. I said, all right, well, I'm going to get you into the shelters. He said, all right, cool. And so I called the pastor from the local church. He said that all of the homeless shelters in Baltimore right now are not accepting men. There's female and children shelters that are out there, but for the men, and which is why if you go around Baltimore, most of the people that are homeless are men, because the women are able to get into women and children shelters where the males are not allowed, because a lot of these women and children were part of domestic violence, and they don't want the homeless men to create any kind of tension with these women that have been domestically violence and abused, right? So they're protected and they're safe with the kids. And but the men, because of COVID, all the other homeless shelters have been shut down, so all these men have to sleep on the streets. So, which is super frustrating. If anybody's watching this that knows Brandon Scott, Mayor of Baltimore, get this message out in front of them. There's thousands of homeless men in Baltimore City that are sleeping on the streets in freezing 30-degree, 26-degree weather, in little skinny little tents, or sleeping with no blankets at all, because the homeless shelters are forced down, man. Open those things up. Open the homeless shelters in Baltimore up. These people need to get off of the streets and into somewhere warm, right? So I got my man, Mr. George, in the back, and I'm calling all of these homeless shelters trying to see if there's any that will let my man stay in there. Every single one. They're all saying they're not even open, or they can't accept anybody in because of COVID. And I'm like, man, I just gave this man my word that I'm going to get him a spot. Like, if I don't get him a spot, I'm going to put him up in a hotel, but that doesn't solve his problem. Put him up in a hotel in one night, and I don't have enough money to float him forever in a hotel. So I'm like, okay, I got to get him into a really, really good home that is going to allow him to get a job and grow. So I finally get this last homeless shelter. It was called the Baltimore Rescue Mission. And I called him up. I said, hey, listen, I have this guy, a friend of mine. I just met him out on the streets of Baltimore as we were feeding people. And he doesn't have anything, man. He's going to be sleeping outside tonight. It's going to be 30 degrees. He doesn't have a blanket. He doesn't even have a pillow. He doesn't have a bag. He only has the clothes on his back and his cane and the food I just gave him. Like, that's all he has to his name. And I said, he needs a place to stay. Can you guys get him in there? They said, we're going to have to interview him when he gets here to make sure that he's not on any drugs, or that he doesn't have anything going on mentally, because we have to be really careful of who we let in, because when we let people in, we like to let them stay there as long as they need to. And sometimes when we let the wrong people in, they start getting in fights with the other people that are staying with us. And he's like, then we have to push them out, and it breaks everybody's heart. So he's like, we screen people at the door of And to reset the room, everybody that's joining onto the podcast live, I'm telling a story about as we were feeding 50 people today, 50 homeless people, and giving out sleeping bags and giving out hand warmers and blankets and socks and soup and bagels and waters and juices and Gatorades and all kinds of sleeping bags and bags and clothes and jackets. Like, we were doing this all day today, and I'm getting ready to play you some footage to show you. I want to finish setting up the pre-frame. Is that as we were doing all of this, we were running into different people, and I met this guy, Mr. George, and he was sleeping on the streets. He didn't even have a blanket, didn't have a pillow, didn't have a sleeping bag, had nothing to his name but the clothes on his back, a cane, and so I went and got him some food, and then he had some food, and that's all he had to his name. And so I finally we were able to get him into thanks to the help of Brother Ray over at St. Vincent's Church, we were able to get this brother into into a homeless shelter. And they let him in, and they were like, all right, Mr. George, what size is your shoe? And he said about a 10, 11. And he was like this guy's very shaken, man. Like deer in the headlights, very shaken. He was looking like he didn't know where he was. And I'm like, Mr. George, I know it's wild that you have people saying that they want to give you a new pair of shoes and give you some new clothes and give you a fresh shower and make you some dinner and give you a warm place to sleep as long as you need it. And they're going to teach you skills on how you can repair. You can learn certain skills so you can go out and get a job. And the whole time, every time you stay there, every day that you stay there, they're having live Bible sessions and live church sessions. And it's a very strong faith-based community rehab center for the homeless. And I'm like, man, what an amazing thing. What an amazing way for somebody to get off of their feet. And I'm like, Mr. George, I know it's crazy, but it's not too good to be true. And he started tearing up and starts to get out of the car, and he meets the two supervisors, and they take him in and allow him to go take a shower and get some fresh food and get a nice warm place to sleep for the night. And he was just in awe. So thankfully, I'm going to go down and see Mr. George tomorrow and check in on him and make sure that he had a good first night experience. But I know that the people that are at the Baltimore Rescue Mission are going to take good care of him. So, and I'm going to give them a shout out real fast. What is their names? Let me see in my phone. Okay, so shouting them out, their names are Purnell and Alfred at the Baltimore Rescue Mission. So if anybody's listening to this and you're inspired by these gentlemen taking in the homeless brother, my man, Mr. George, giving him all of that, a new pair of shoes, new clothes. He was filthy. Mr. George was filthy. He was covered in all this kind of dirt, and his clothes were really ripped up and baggy. And so him hearing that he could get a new pair of shoes and get a whole new outfit, take a shower, warm, nice shower, get a fresh cooked meal, and sleep in in a warm bed. Like, the look in his eyes was like he just died and went to heaven. Like, it was such an amazing thing. So I'm really proud that we were able to have that experience today. So from this morning with Drew Canoli and meeting him with Organifi, and now Plant Pusher and Organifi are going to partner up, and then meeting Mr. Grant Cardone, my man Uncle G, and now going out and feeding people, and my Plant Pusher store is getting ready to launch. We're making that experience better, and we're outside feeding people today. Fed 50 people and 50 sleeping bags, and people getting gift cards to go out and get food. We're giving people soup and bagels and waters and juices and love, man. Just a lot of love and prayer and just quality time, right? So when we were out there feeding people today, I met this guy, and I was like, God put it on my spirit to be like, Nicolo, don't let this man stay on the street. So I let Mr. George stay in the back of my Jeep for like 2.5 hours as we drove around the city to get him into a homeless shelter for the night. And God led us to Baltimore Rescue Mission, so Mr. George is going to be able to stay there. And Mr. George is in his mid-60s, just to give you all some context. This man is in his mid-60s, living outside on the streets all by himself, no blankets, no pillows, no sleeping bag, no tent, literally sleeping in only the jacket and the pants that he's got on and the sweatpants he's got on. He's sleeping outside in 30-degree weather. And it's so heartbroken that just looking at you and you having a conversation with him and letting him know that he matters, he's just pouring tears, just crying tears, man. So today was definitely very humbling. Today was definitely a beautiful experience. God showed me a lot today. And it's just, I'm very excited, and I'm very motivated with Plant Pusher and everything that's going on. The new website's out. We got new merch coming. The shirt that I'm wearing is a new release. The hoodies that I have on deck are new releases, and hats coming. And I have air fresheners and stickers and all kinds of cool little things inside of the Plant Pusher brand that are coming soon. So every single item purchased feeds a free vegan meal to somebody in need. Every t-shirt purchased, every hoodie purchased is going to feed a free vegan meal to somebody in need. As of today, we fed 1,322 vegan meals to the community in Baltimore, into Philadelphia. Again, today was creative concept that was invented by my mother, Blondie, my sisters, A-Lock and Blondie Jr. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know, right? If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. So, and Miss Mabel and Giuliano is this brother that we met out there that, you know what I'm saying, from Baltimore. He's got an Italian last name. I'm like, oh no, he's Giuseppe. Giuseppe, what's up, man? So it was just an amazing day. Was able to take care of a lot of people and was able to really get humbled, man, and get humbled and inspired and motivated all in the same day. So God is good. The Plant Pusher Podcast, we're on a mission to promote the plant-based lifestyle worldwide so we can help our communities to heal. That includes the people who can afford healing food and people who can't. This is why I'm partnering up with Organifi, because so many people don't have access to green juice in their neighborhood. So many people don't have access to superfoods in their neighborhood. Most of the world does not have access to these ingredients before Organifi came. And now I'm excited to partner up with this brand and be able to get this product out to everyone who needs it, because we all need it and we don't have access to it because people don't know about it. So that's part of the advertising job that I do, is to advertise these brands and get them in front of you on social media so that you can purchase from them and get your product and get your family to live a really amazing, healthy, happy life, right? So that's helping our communities to heal, to protect animals, and to restore our beautiful planet. So I want to play two things for y'all real quick. I want to play the video from when we were out in the streets feeding people today. I want to play that video, and then I want to play my Plant Pusher outro, and then we're out of here. All right, so let's do this thing. Resume last video.
Thing to do to help people.
All right, so what has your experience been out here so far, feeding people?
It's a fantastic experience. I've done it for 10 years, and I feel that it's a good thing to do to help people up by feeding them, clothing them, and sheltering them, because that's what God asks us to do.
And what would you say to any brothers and sisters that are watching this video? What would your recommendation be for them?
Join us and come out and feed. You don't have to come with this group, but you can put together a group of some of your friends and family and come out and feed. The people will not attack you, they will not hurt you. They are grateful for your help. So be blessed.
Thank you. All right, y'all, what has your experience been out here feeding people, as we've been feeding people, handing out sleeping bags, soup and waters, and just having this whole experience? What are you feeling right now?
It's a good feeling. I know that this has been a rough year for basically all of the world, and I know that these people down here are feeling it even worse than anybody else. And I just would love it to see more people come down here and try to contribute to these people, because I do know they do have nothing and they do appreciate it. So
Thank you.
I just like
Yeah, we're definitely
Thank
going
you,
to try
man.
and we want to get a big group
What has
together.
your guys' take been so far today? As you've seen us driving around the city, we're seeing people out here sleeping on the ground in tents, looking for food and shelter. What has your experience been today, and what would you say to people that are watching this?
But for the grace of God, go I. You know what I mean? You never know when it's going to be your turn. You got to pay it forward constantly, because you never know what life's going to bring. These people didn't plan to be here. You know that.
Right,
So.
it's a heartbreaking experience to see everybody struggle.
But it feels good to give back to
But
the
it definitely
community.
feels good to give back, for sure. We want to get a big group going. You know what I mean? And we want to do more.
Yeah,
this just scratched the surface.
iceberg,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for those of y'all that are out here watching this right now, they brought sleeping bags, and we're keeping this anonymous because this ain't about us, right? They brought sleeping bags. What else is in here? Gloves.
Hats,
hand
hand warmers,
warmers,
gift cards to
socks.
McDonald's.
Okay, socks. We got hand
Socks,
warmers.
yep.
Sleeping bags. We got little 16 ounce, 12 ounce little things of soup. You got snack bags. You know what I'm saying? All kinds of little snacks and. Everybody's got something. Bring your people together and do something. Get off of your couch, stop watching Netflix, man. We got everybody's got either food or water or sleeping bags, a whole fleet of cars, man. We're leading by example, but we need y'all to step up so we can do this together. We got to take care of our communities, man.
Welcome to the Plant Pusher Podcast with Nicolo Massa. We're on a mission to bring people back to the garden. Let's go back to the garden.